It's no secret that Amazon has their own line of Android tablets, and we wanted to take a look at the latest one in their offerings. Hey, it's Josh Vergara from Android Authority. What's going on, everybody? And this is the Amazon Kindle Fire HDX. Whereas plenty of us might remember the Kindles of old that were originally for just reading ebooks, the Kindle Fire series was Amazon's foray into the full-featured tablet space. So, what we're looking at here is a 7-inch slate with a rather unique and quite rigid form. The screen is surrounded by a pretty sizable bezel that might not be the most attractive but does have a very important function. When doing just about any kind of content consumption, being able to rest a thumb easily on the side definitely helps. The sides actually have a bit of a slant to them that you'll notice most when plugging in the micro USB charger or headphones in the jack on the opposite side. Around the back you'll see how this slanting motif continues. The entire tablet somewhat rises up like the bottom of a pyramid and meets the soft touch backing with the Amazon logo on it. The slants upward on the sides are what house the buttons, and they are actually easy to find by just feeling for them. The top slant is the only part that is not made up of a soft touch plastic and houses the dual speakers. Just by looking at the back, you can see that this tablet is generally supposed to be used in landscape mode, making it easy to press the various buttons and of course to help media consumption. I find the soft touch plastic a great move on Amazon's part, as it isn't all that slippery and definitely gives the tablet a nice look. When using the HDX in landscape mode with two hands, the buttons are easy to find. And if you're used to reading in portrait mode, the tablet is still easily grippable in one hand. All in all, it's a simple, pretty elegant, and definitely functional form factor that you'll get in the Kindle Fire HDX. An IPS screen graces the Kindle Fire HDX and is a great performer. At 7 inches, this display is capable of 1920 by 1200 resolution at 323 ppi. It is really no surprise that the premium offering by Amazon is packing this kind of display because much of what you'll be doing on the screen is watching and reading media. And in that regard, this screen really does all of it justice. High brightness is typical of IPS screens, and the HDX is capable of viewing even in daylight. Reading Kindle books on the HDX is as easy as it can be, with the good pixel density keeping text looking crisp and sharp. All videos you might watch from your Prime subscription really pop through nicely, as colors are vibrant and the contrast is high. Fire up some HD content and it won't be hard to see all of the details. All in all, Amazon did well to put a very high quality display on the HDX, and it provides a very enjoyable experience. But it wasn't just in the screen that Amazon looked to really excel, as the Kindle Fire HDX also comes with the current fastest processing package available. The Snapdragon 800 clocked in at 2.2 GHz and the Adreno 330 power the pretty simplistic but very smooth Fire OS and makes the HDX a handy little gaming device. If Amazon tablets weren't quite on your radar before, you'll be pleasantly surprised at the kind of power this one is packing. While smooth transitions are mostly a software feature, there is still no denying that you're able to blaze through pretty much anything in the Fire OS. For a device that is very dependent on the cloud, the Kindle Fire HDX doesn't come with too many extra bells and whistles. 16, 32, or 64 GB of onboard storage are available, but not expandable. 64 GB is probably the ideal here because HD versions of movies you may buy on Amazon take up a ton of space. There is no rear-facing camera, but the front-facing 1.3 megapixel shooter helps for maybe just the occasional selfie and for some video chatting. While there are versions of the HDX that can work on mobile carriers, this version has Wi-Fi atop Bluetooth and GPS functionality. So, that leaves the speakers and the battery. First off, the battery is a pretty large 4550 mAh unit that provides a very good deal of longevity. Amazon claims 11 hours of usage, and in my testing it feels just about right. Going from 50% to 20% took me about 3 hours of mostly video viewing, which falls pretty much in line. And finally, the dual speakers at the top of the Kindle Fire's back provide an experience backed by Dolby enhancements. Having those enhancements can drain battery life faster, so that's going to be your call to turn them on. I have to say that I was actually really surprised at the sound quality coming out of this 7-inch tablet. The binge watching I mentioned earlier was done without headphones. As a matter of fact, I had to leave the volume below half level because they are quite loud. But what was most impressive is how much dimension there was to the sound. Ambient noises in the videos, or let's say audience laughter, really does sound separated from the main subjects in the video, and the two speakers handle left and right channels beautifully.
By the way, that joke brought to you by Grammar.
Headphones and Bluetooth speakers will still work as they should, but if you don't have any of these things on hand, the HDX can definitely still stand on its own. Alright, we get into the crux of this review, which is the software in Amazon's Fire OS. If you came to this review thinking Amazon and Android didn't immediately feel like they fit together, there is actually good reason for this. This is because Fire OS is quite literally a version far and beyond what we might be used to from, let's say, a stock experience like on the Nexus 7. Amazon took the very bare essentials and stripped Google services and motifs away, replacing them with a carousel home screen that lists your most recent apps. Below them is a grid of your installed applications, and then up top are portals for various Amazon content. Actually, there isn't too much after that. The darker motif permeates the menus and notification dropdown, and ultimately the simplistic style lends itself to a very snappy, minimalistic user interface. What you see is essentially what you get, but it isn't all that bad. And no, this version of Android does not come with Google-specific services like Maps or even Gmail, which may be a turnoff for anyone that relies on them. I certainly missed my Google Play Music. The Amazon versions of Calendar and Email work well even if they're not really full-featured, and if you really need to access Google services, the web-based versions work well enough, especially YouTube. The Amazon Appstore ecosystem is actually quite robust, providing a good selection of applications that you'd find in the Play Store. Facebook, Feedly, and Evernote were all there, so I was happy. But anything that was missing, however, could still be sideloaded. Sideloading apps is completely supported by the Kindle Fire, and most applications you install should work fine on this tablet. It's when you get into the portals that the Kindle Fire really opens up. Literally everything you may have purchased or could want is listed, making content buying, downloading, and streaming really easy. It's clear that you should be a Prime subscriber to get the most out of your Kindle Fire, and you get a free month with your purchase. With Prime, you have a slew of content available immediately for free, so enjoying content is as easy as finding your show or movie, paying the rental or owning price if necessary, and pressing play. The same goes for everything from books to magazines to music. One pretty awesome enhancement in video watching is the X-ray feature, which gives you a bar on the left side that lists all actors, fun facts, and trivia about the scene you are currently on. I'm sure that film buffs will definitely get a kick out of that. Free time is perfect for parents who want to limit their kids' time on their device. It was a little weird that I had to fabricate a child, but once set up, I gave my non-existent daughter only 1.5 hours on apps, Facebook, and unlimited time reading. You can set any and all content on the Kindle to be used in a free time profile, the minimalistic version of which will come up when you activate it. Any attempt to change the settings or exit free time requires a password that I have to set up. It is worth mentioning that all children's content on Amazon can be accessed for $2.99 per child, consisting of a lot of hand-picked content by Amazon that would make it easier for parents to find such things rather than sift through a full Prime subscription. After that is the very unique and honestly pretty crazy new feature of the Mayday button. This can be called a revolution in customer service, as all you have to do to get your questions answered is roll down the notification shade and hit the Mayday button. What I'm pleased to report is that it works just about as well as the commercials show. While the internet connection might make your experience vary, I got connected to a gentleman in the 15-second promised wait time. The video and audio quality coming from the customer service rep was very good, and it was not hard at all to get whatever information I wanted. The rep is able to see your content on your screen the entire time, draw on it to illustrate your points, and take control of the screen if need be. It's a wonderful way for anyone who needs help to get help. So if you know anyone who is technologically challenged, even on the pretty easy to use Kindle Fire admittedly, Mayday is still definitely there to help, and it works pretty damn well. Alright, so what do you have to pay to get one of the fastest tablets around that boasts good speakers, battery life, and a pretty incredible customer service feature? Well, this 7-inch edition of the HDX starts at $229 for the 16GB model, Wi-Fi only, and without special offers included. Special offers is Amazon's advertising system that turns your idle Kindle Fire into an ad space. It costs an extra $15 to have a version without the special offers, but to be honest, it isn't actually all that intrusive. And so, there you have it. A somewhat surprisingly great offering from Amazon, whose highly customized and stripped-down version of Android is backed up by what can be considered a top-executed hardware package. It might be a sore spot for Google-reliant users that much of their Android applications are not included, but with a little extra effort, much of what you miss could still be installed. What you do get in the Kindle Fire HDX is a smooth, capable, and easy-to-use hub connecting you to the immense Amazon network. It just might be one of the best ways to enjoy TV, movies, and books available in the Android space. And if you run into trouble, a simple press of the button can save you from it. As always, thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this review of the Kindle Fire HDX. If you liked it, don't forget to drop us a like down below and to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Check out the links over on the side for even more content here at Android Authority, because we have everything from reviews to weekly shows to comparisons to feature-focused videos. So keep it tuned to this channel, because Android Authority is your source for all things Android.